things as well. First, it tracked your distance. Now, it tracks your stride length. It knows a breaststroke from a backstroke and checks for temperature changes to estimate when you've ovulated. When you're dreaming, it's measuring your REM sleep down to the minute. And it can detect a serious car crash, then call for help. So yeah, a few new things.
Tomorrow on ET, from Oprah to Ava, our night out with Hollywood's power women.
Plus, only we are with John Legend talking about his new dad goals.
I'm looking forward to rolling it all out.
I can't wait for that. But before we go, major props to another John, our friend John Cena. He just set the Guinness World Record for granting more wishes than anyone else through the Make-A-Wish.
Happening now.
We're taking a close look into Hurricane Ian and the people impacted. How a San Antonio disaster response team prepared ahead of time.
And after making landfall this afternoon on the southwest coast of Florida, Ian is now gradually weakening, but still packing a punch. I'll have the latest data and path of where it's headed, along with more fall-like morning temperatures around here. See you in a bit.
Numerous photos and the murder weapon shown in court today to a jury in the case of a man accused of killing his stepfather last year. Also photos of injuries on the defendant. We'll explain. The news at 5 starts now.
And we begin with Hurricane Ian making landfall in southwest Florida late this afternoon. We're looking live at Tampa, Florida, where it actually looks pretty calm. It seems as though the hurricane is moving onward. USAA team members, meantime, right here in San Antonio, working with a disaster relief team that's already on the ground in Florida.
Alyssa Cole joins us live this evening from the Unified Command Center at USAA headquarters. Alyssa, what's happening where you are right now?
Yes, this room has come alive now that Hurricane Ian has made landfall in Florida. The monitors around me are surveillance and Dopplers tracking the storm in real time. Now, this command room serves as the watch for what's happening in Florida, forecasting what's to come and keeping a close eye on their members. We know USAA is one of the largest insurance providers in the country, and we spoke with the CEO, and he tells us more than 600,000 members under USAA are in Florida, and they're anticipating hundreds and thousands of those small business owners, even military personnel to be impacted by this storm with damaged properties and vehicles. And with that anticipation comes preparation. The company has already staged claims teams throughout the impacted area to assist people immediately after the storm.
We do work in conjunction with first responders, with, say, the National Guard in Florida as well, and all of the local authorities once we get into the market.
Now, as the CEO mentioned, the USAA teams on the ground right now are claims professionals who are focused on property claims work. The San Antonio team has already deployed a mobile resource center this past weekend, ready to assist all the families who will need it. Now, coming up at 6, how you can prepare if severe weather strikes here at home. Alyssa Cole, KSAT 12 News.
And earlier this afternoon, Hurricane Ian made landfall just north of Captiva Island as a high-end Category 4, borderline Category 5. We're talking winds about 5 miles per hour under being a Category 5. Still a Category 4 hurricane. Max sustained winds of 130 miles per hour. That's right around the eye wall now, which is moving onshore just north of Fort Myers. And Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte area had some recorded wind speeds of 125 to 135 miles per hour this afternoon. And they're still in the thick of it there, especially just north of Fort Myers. And this is where the strongest winds are now, just south of Sarasota. It's moving to the northeast at only 8 miles per hour, slowing down. Of course, it's weakening as it's interacting with land, but obviously still packing a punch. Likely to be a Category 1. Later on tonight, 1 a.m., max winds at 85 miles per hour, then weakening into a tropical storm near Orlando during the day tomorrow, re-emerging over the Atlantic and then making what would be its third landfall, Cuba, Florida, and then South Carolina or northern Georgia as a tropical storm. Right now, it's unlikely for that to redevelop into a hurricane, but of course, bring with it a good amount of rainfall and some gusty winds for some of those folks. Around here, all things considered, we are fortunate. 89 Del Rio, 87 in Leon Springs, 90 right now in Floresville, 88 currently in Bulverde, and Windcrest, 88 degrees. Low humidity. Clear and quiet, calm through this evening. Temperatures cooling off quickly by 10 o'clock, right near 70. We'll talk about how long this fall-like weather, at least for the mornings, is going to last in just a bit.
Thank you, Adam. New at 5, close to 100 crime scene photos and the murder weapon were shown today in the trial of a man accused of killing his stepfather last year.
Eric Hernandez gives us a look at that evidence and who we can expect to see on the stand in the days to come.
To show the yard area.
One by one, the state went through dozens of crime scene photos in court today, showing the jury what was found at the home 49-year-old Mark Ramos was shot at. Ramos was allegedly shot by his stepson, Jaren Garcia, last March after an argument between Ramos and his wife escalated and Jaren got involved.
E2, 3 were live rounds found in the yard.
11 shell casings, both live rounds and spent casings, were collected at the scene, as well as the 9mm handgun and a 30-round magazine. Photos of injuries on Garcia were also shown. He had scratches on his arms, face, chest, and neck, a busted lip, and bruising above one of his eyes. During opening arguments yesterday, the prosecution said Ramos at no time physically attacked Garcia and that his mother, Bertha, was trying to get him to put the gun down. But the defense claimed Ramos was the aggressor.
We were expecting Bertha Garcia, Jaren's mother, to take the stand today, but because of a late start yesterday and a late start today, that has yet to happen. But we are being told that she will eventually take the stand. Now, if found guilty, Jaren is facing up to life in prison. At the Cadena Reeves Justice Center, Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Take a look at some other top stories we're following for you today. One woman is in jail accused of stabbing a man in a West Side apartment overnight. It all happened around 2 o'clock this morning on Wiseman Boulevard near Loop 1604, not too far from SeaWorld. That's where police say 22-year-old Destiny Nicole Jimenez stabbed the man after they got into an argument. He was taken to a hospital, and we are told he is expected to recover from his injuries.
San Antonio police and Crime Stoppers need your help. They're trying to find the person involved in a shooting at a Northwest Side car wash. This happened back on June 25th at the Easy Wash on Gardendale near Fredericksburg and Wurzbach. That's where officers believe that the man you see in the surveillance video started shooting off rounds inside the parking lot. One person was hit by that gunfire. We're told the suspect was seen with the driver and the passenger of this red vehicle you see on the screen. If you can help police solve the case, call Crime Stoppers at 210-224-STOP. You could get a reward of up to $5,000 for information that leads to an arrest.
Meanwhile, police need your help on another case. This as the search continues for a man who hasn't been seen in 5 days now. 48-year-old Frankie Flores, seen there in that picture, was last seen on the Southwest Side, not far from Old Pearsall Road and Loop 410. He was wearing a black shirt with a silver logo and white sneakers. He has a pair of tattoos. One is a butterfly behind his ear, the other his last name on his arm. SAPD says he is diagnosed with a medical condition. If you know where he is or can help police find him, call the San Antonio Police Department Missing Persons Unit. Their number 210-207-7660.
Right now on our website, learn more about a Texas woman found guilty of hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of fraud. She allegedly lied about her husband's disability from his time in the Army. 39-year-old Josephine Cassandra Perez Gorda was convicted by a federal jury in San Antonio yesterday. They say that she defrauded the Veterans Administration and the Social Security Administration of more than $300,000. Read more about the story right now on KSAT.com.
And looking ahead, happening on Friday, you can watch the only scheduled gubernatorial debate right here on KSAT. We'll also be live streaming that debate on KSAT.com. The debate will be held at the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, where our own Steve Spreester will be serving as a panelist. We will also be holding a virtual party, a watch party for our KSAT insiders. The debate coverage begins on Friday at 7.
Family Service, a San Antonio nonprofit that at one time was based out of Robb Elementary School itself. It was back when the organization first came to Uvalde.
Jesse Degollado says the tragedy at Robb is why now more than 20 years later, Family Service is seeing many in that community in need of emotional support.
From the looks of it, life in Uvalde has managed to continue. Yet seemingly frozen in time is the emotional trauma. Any tomorrows became unthinkable for so many.
No, because the majority of the individuals just want to survive today.
To better help them do even that.
What had been an unused storage space here at the Walmart in Uvalde has become a place of comfort, support, and hope.
At a more discreet location to seek help from Family Service, an agency with a 22-year history in Uvalde.
They trust us, and it's all about the trust.
Created by certified clinicians like Enedelia Soto Quintanilla, who understands the intricacies of the culture here.
How far we can go and how slow we can go, all the stigma.
Soto Quintanilla says that's when dicho therapy helps, sayings that the primarily Spanish-speaking community understands. Their pain, she tells them, is like a thorn in their hand.
Si la sacas, la espina va a doler, pero es como se empieza a sanar la herida.
Taking the thorn out hurts, she says, but that's how healing the wound begins, which is why there are so many hugs and tears in these rooms.
But that's when the heart and the mind start healing.
Only then, they say, can families begin to think about beyond the here and now.
So it's going to be a long journey, but Family Service is going to be part of that journey.
In Uvalde, Jesse Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
Just a couple more days this week, your last chance to take part in our KSAT community food donations at any participating Randolph Brooks Federal Credit Union location. Here's the map of all those locations. You can find a list of them as well on KSAT.com. The donations are being accepted through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And if you grab your phone right now and scan your QR code on the screen, it's going to take you right to our web article with a list of the 12 most wanted items they need this month. Some of them, simple stuff: peanut butter, cereal, rice, canned soups. The food drive ends on Friday.
Let's check in on another drive, your commute home on this Wednesday. Taking a look at US 281 and Isom Road. Slow going there on the appears to be northbound lanes as folks are heading home.
Still ahead on the news at 5, almost everyone wants to start their day with a warm cup of coffee. And while a little caffeine in the morning can do wonders, experts say there is a limit on how much you should drink. We're going to show you some of the signs you're maybe taking too much. You should look out for it.
The jitters. And stunning new images from space from one of the most powerful telescopes in the universe. We'll show you the details in this image and why experts at NASA say they've never seen it before.
I'm Myra Arthur here in the KSAT newsroom with what we're working on for the news at 6 o'clock today. Millions of dollars were lost in a matter of days due to a supply chain crisis. It was all sparked by the trucker blockade nearly 6 months ago at the Far Reynosa International Bridge. Well, today at 6, Alicia Barrera is live from the Rio Grande Valley, following up with produce business owners in the area and their efforts to try to recover that. Plus, one local foster agency is being forced to turn away children right now. Today at 6, we'll tell you what inflation has to do with this emergency and what True Light Ministries wants you to know. All that and more today on the news at 6.
Thank you, Myra. We'll see you in just a little bit. Serious question. How do you start your day? Many people might say with some coffee. That morning cup of joe does have its benefits, but 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz takes a look at how much is too much coffee.
Is that first sip of coffee the best part of your morning? Well, good news. Coffee can actually be good for you.
Coffee could actually lower your risk of certain liver diseases. some types of cancers, and type 2 diabetes. And there's some evidence that it can also lower your risk of heart disease and respiratory disease.
Research even suggests that if you drink coffee, you could live longer than non-coffee drinkers, in part because coffee is rich in antioxidants. But how much coffee is healthy and how much is too much?
In general, the average person can safely consume up to 400 milligrams of caffeine per day, the amount in 3 to 5 cups of coffee.
If you have a medical condition or caffeine sensitivity, it's best to check with your doctor and listen to your body. If your heart is thumping faster than usual and you feel extra jittery, it's likely time to lay off. And to help you sleep better at night, experts say finish that last cup of Joe around 2 p.m. so most of the caffeine has left your body by bedtime. Like tea too? Another study showed that people who drank 2 to 3 cups of coffee plus 2 or 3 cups of tea had about a 30% lower risk of dementia and stroke compared to people who didn't drink either. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
You really need to check this out. Images, brand new ones, of a spiral galaxy 29 million light years away from planet Earth. And that is the latest shot from the James Webb Space Telescope that's out in space right now. NASA says we're seeing details that we have never seen before. It calls the white spiral arms in this image the bones of the galaxy. And it says they are typically hard to see because of dust. The telescope has captured this image. It's already taken some other images as well with unseen details of the final frontier, along with pictures of Mars, Jupiter, and Neptune. The $10 billion space observatory has enough fuel to keep on getting those fantastic shots too, just like these, for about 20 more years.
Until they build a bigger and better one.
Which I'm sure is underway right now.
Probably so.
Looking outside with live cam, what a pretty day we're having. And, I know all of our attention's over in Florida, but gosh, it's nice here.
Yeah, I mean, of course, if we could order up some more rain, that would be beneficial. But since we can't do that, I'll take these pleasant morning temperatures and seasonable afternoons with low humidity. Of course, Hurricane Ian made landfall earlier this afternoon just north of Captiva Island, Florida. That's basically between Fort Myers and Sarasota area. Quiet around here with more fall-like mornings on the way the rest of this week and low humidity. But I want to get to the hurricane first. That's really the only action we have across the nation. You look at the rainfall estimates over the past few days, and what really stands out is near Sarasota, Florida. That's just south of Tampa on the west coast. We're talking over 18 inches of rain estimated near Port Charlotte toward Laurel and Northport. And so not only are parts of Fort Myers area and Fort Myers Beach, Sanibel Island, up toward Port Charlotte dealing with storm surge, but also flooding from rainfall. So here's the latest on Hurricane Ian. Still packing a punch, Category 4, made landfall as a high-end 4, just about a low-end 5, but officially Category 4. Right now, max sustained winds at 130 and likely to drop significantly here in the coming hours because it's over land. Hurricanes need the warm ocean water in order to not just develop, but even sustain themselves. Once they get over land, that's it. They weaken quickly. And this is now pushing to the northeast on its way toward Orlando and Daytona Beach area. Basically, it's likely to be a tropical storm. By the time it makes it to Orlando, that'd be tomorrow midday-ish, and then tracking back into the Atlantic, making another landfall somewhere along the Georgia-South Carolina coastline. So that's the situation down there. You see the tornado watch box for the eastern coast of Florida, just east of Orlando, southward. And that's because on that front right side, you have more dynamics, and some of those outer bands spin up some brief tornadoes. So that's where the tornado threat is. But of course, the storm surge, the big story, especially around Fort Myers. Actually, I was just looking at the Caloosahatchee River, which runs from basically the Gulf up into downtown Fort Myers, Florida. It's about 7.5 feet above where it should be right now. High pressure system sitting over us. We have the Big Blue H. It's not a very hot one, but it's one that's going to keep us high and dry. Temperatures right now, 91 in Abilene, 90 in Dallas, 91 in Laredo. Not a big difference out there. You get to Alpine, though, it's 78 degrees. Crisp air there, that's for sure. Kerrville, 87. This is what you can expect tomorrow morning. Uvalde, Hondo, 56 degrees in the morning tomorrow. Canyon Lake about 57, Kerrville, Fredericksburg 54, Bernie 55. Another fall-like start to the day tomorrow. If you needed that light sweatshirt or light jacket earlier today, you'll need it again at the bus stop tomorrow morning. And this trend is going to continue really the rest of the week. Upper 50s, we think, officially here in San Antonio, but outlying areas, a few degrees cooler than that all the way through the weekend. And then next week, we'll see those morning temperatures start to work their way back up into the 60s. Here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast tomorrow. Wall-to-wall sunshine all day. 59 at 7 a.m. By noon, we're talking 86 degrees. Then a high temperature of 91. We should hit that around 4 or 5 p.m. And by and large, we'll be right around 90, give or take. Bandera 93, Poteet 92, and Converse 92, the high temperature. Then it's basically just cut and paste the forecast with the exception of some additional cloud cover coming in off the Pacific, potentially by late Saturday and especially Sunday, Monday. But that'll just add a little variety to our sky.
Oh, let's bring on some rain soon, okay, Adam?
I'm trying.
I know.
All right, as the Spurs begin preparing for their new season, they definitely have some holes to fill in their starting lineup.
Well, yeah, there's only one for sure starter at one particular position. Everything else, as they say, is up for grabs and includes a new starting point guard now that DeJounte Murray is in Atlanta. Could that be Trey Jones? We'll talk to him about that. And Tank is talking about his career night coming up. As the Spurs finish up day 2 of workouts and training camp, the only thing assured is that Jakob Poeltl will be starting at the 5 position. Everything else up for grabs. That includes who will be their new starting point guard following the trade of DeJounte Murray to the Atlanta Hawks. Now, one of those who has his hat in the ring for that job, Trey Jones, is about to start his 3rd season in silver and black.
I mean, we'll just have to see how camp goes. I'm trying to be much more of a leader this year. That's definitely something I want to continue to do throughout my career in the NBA. Just be a leader, not only by example, but vocally as well. So, as far as my role goes, I'm going to try to take on that role as being a leader for this group, especially at point guard. Continue to try to just do everything I was doing, though. Set up our team, set up guys in the right spots that they need to be in, and let the rest take care of itself.
All right, first preseason game Sunday in Houston against the Rockets.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
Dallas Cowboys defense is one of the highlights of their 23-16 victory over the Giants. They got to quarterback Daniel Jones 5 times for 5 sacks, 3 of those coming from DeMarcus Lawrence on his career night. That now puts him 1 sack behind Micah Parsons, who already has 4, and who is in the background shouting at Tank during this interview, "How does it feel to be helped?"
It feels great to actually be him. All glory to God. But, the first 2 games didn't go as well as I planned. And, had to, keep going out fighting each and every day, to get to these sacks. And, they just come in bunches. So, I was just, all glory to God.
All right, we'll see what the Dallas D can do against another division opponent, the Washington Commanders, this Sunday. Former Dallas Cowboys star wide receiver Drew Pearson was in San Antonio on Monday, making an appearance at the quarterback club to celebrate the life of legendary broadcaster Gary DeLon, who passed away this year. And afterwards was asked, how does it feel to be a member of the NFL Hall of Fame finally?
I'm not bragging or anything, but I'm in about 9 Hall of Fames. And all due respect to the other Hall of Fames, they're all great, but nothing gets you the respect like the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And a lot of the guys told us that are in the Hall of Fame when we're up there in Canton, they say you'll feel it, you'll see the difference, you'll understand the difference, and it has been different. The respect that you get, and you're at the pinnacle. And now you're not only a Dallas Cowboy, playing on great teams there, but now you're in a Pro Football Hall of Fame on a great team as well.
So happy for him, and he calls himself now the chairman of the 88 Club, the original 88, right there.
Joining some good company there.
Indeed.
Thank you, Greg.
And we'll be right back.
Here's another look at what you can expect tomorrow morning right around sunrise. We're talking 7 to 8 a.m., mostly mid and upper 50s. Kerrville 54, Bulverde 56. And Castroville at 58, then near 90 by the afternoon.
Thanks for watching the News at 5 with us.
World News is next.